right, it's time for another short video update, and we had a lot going on this past week. All of our regular meetings on Zoom, plus we visited some families in their homes. Have another visit planned for tonight and tomorrow, and Friday, and Saturday.
Yes.
And we're getting ready for a Valentine's Day banquet coming up this next Tuesday. That'll be the first one that we've done with the Pakistani ministry, just Gwen and I, so we're looking forward to that. So a whole lot is going on, and we've had really good meetings on Zoom, and really good news. We've decided that besides sharing family and ministry updates of what's going on, to let you know a little bit about some of the families that we're working with. So this last week we were able to use the names, actual names. This week we can't use the name of the family we're going to tell you about. So what should we call them? What should we refer to them as?
Pastor Jay and his family.
All right, we'll call him Pastor Jay and his wife and their 3 children. We need to go back to Pastor Jay was a Muslim and became a believer. And that is a long, marvelous, beautiful story that I just can't share with you here, but I have spent many hours in his home visiting with him, and he's gone over it all with me. He was definitely persecuted. He was drug into a mosque. He was given the ultimatum to convert back to Islam or face death. He was beaten, had broken bones in his legs. He was taunted and mocked inside of the mosque and told that if Jesus was so great, why didn't he stand up? And he prayed and asked God to help him stand, and he stood up on 2 broken legs. And they were shamed by that, and they slowly left. And he drug himself out of there. The Christians couldn't help him, because if the Christians rendered aid to somebody that was being attacked by the mob, then the mob would turn on the Christians and attack them also for helping him. The Muslims that loved him couldn't help him, because he had turned his back on Islam, and not only had he converted to Christ, but he was converting other Muslims to Christ. So eventually he was able to escape Pakistan and make his way here, came into our ministry. We began to minister to him and encourage him. He began an outreach where he's connecting with Muslims in Pakistan and other countries. In 2021, he had 32 men come to Christ through his online outreach that he has. He was praying that in 2022, God would give him double. He wanted 64. And he told me last night, he said, I didn't make it to 64, brother, but we had 48 men come to Christ last year. So he's reaching Muslims using Facebook Messenger mostly, and making posts on Facebook. Nobody knows where he is, or they don't know where he is, and they don't know his real name, because they would send people for him. Mm-hmm. So this family is in great need. He's not able to work because of his injuries, of his beatings that he took when he was in Pakistan. He's got back problems. He's got problems with one of his legs that was broken, didn't heal properly. And but thankfully, he's legally immigrating, and he'll be leaving soon, actually in the month of March. Is that right?
Yes, month of March. And they've been here 9.5 years. So
that's one of the families that we're working with, and that's one of the stories, and not all of the details. I didn't tell you anything about his wife. At one point, he was arrested along with his 8-year-old son and was detained in a prison for preaching. And so not all of the people that we work with are like this, where they are arrested and persecuted for preaching the gospel, but some of them are. A lot of them are discriminated against and persecuted just because they're Christians. Or there'll be a disagreement between one family and another family over something unrelated, and they get accused of blasphemy. And we don't understand back in the States, blasphemy is a federal offense in Pakistan. If you say anything negative about the Prophet Muhammad, about the Quran, or about Islam, and you are not a Muslim, that is blasphemy, and it is a federal offense, and ultimately it does carry the death penalty. They're within their legal rights in the country of Pakistan to execute people who blaspheme against the Prophet Muhammad, the Quran, or Islam. And so we're detached from that in the States. We're blessed to have freedom and thank the Lord for that. But not everybody in the world is like that. And there are 8,000 Pakistani Christians in Bangkok that are seeking refuge because of issues they've had in Pakistan. Mostly they've been accused of blasphemy for one reason or another. Brother, or Pastor Jay, as we're calling him, was preaching a sermon and quoted the Quran. And that got put in the newspaper. He got arrested. And he simply quoted what the Quran actually did say. But he contrasted that with what the Word of God says. And you can see how that would make Islam not look so good. And they arrested him and put him in prison for that. And he was able to get out and then finally escape Thailand. So these are, some of the folks that we're working with. And what we've decided to do is just tell you a little bit about each family. I wish we could share more pictures and video. Sometimes we can. But with this family, until they're safely in Canada, we're doing the best we can to keep their identity. And he told me when I said I was going to make this video, he goes, "Tell him, brother, I'm not afraid." He said, "I'm not afraid." He said, "Look, God's protecting me and keeping me safe." I said, "Well, okay. Well, I don't want you to get beat up or something because of something I put online." So everything we put online is safe, for you to share if you'd like to share it with someone else. Is that about it?
Well, that's it for that. But I do want to make a point. I have no idea what happened with our emails the last few weeks. 2 got sent out at the same time last week, and then the way that they're connected to the website, I think the same video showed up. So if you've missed a video, or you'd like to even go back and watch one of the past few, on our website there's a page that's called Past Videos, and the last 4 are always posted there. So if you've missed something in the last couple of weeks, it's there. I have no idea. I've tried to figure it all out. So hopefully this week's will go out the way it's supposed to.
And I have no idea because I don't have anything to do with that.
Anything that goes wrong technology-wise is my fault.
Well,
because I'm the one doing it. But
in my wisdom, I've delegated that. So that not only I don't have to do it, but I'm also not to blame. And so I just have these grand ideas and then pawn it all off on Gwen, and she has to do all the work. I'm probably the only guy that does that to his wife. I think that's about it for this week. Pray for our kids that are in college in the States. Keep them in your prayers. And pray for our Valentine's Day banquet coming up this Tuesday. We want to have a big blowout deal for these folks. They don't get to celebrate a lot of stuff.
And the last thing to pray about is our visa paperwork. We are having to start turning stuff in now for our visa that expires in April. So a lot of stuff going on with that too. And the rules are changing, and we're having to do things a different way, but we'll figure it out as it goes.
We're going to get pictures here in a little bit. And I look forward to that like most people look forward to going to the dentist and getting a hole drilled in their tooth. But it's part of it. Every missionary has to do it, so there's no point in complaining about it. I'm thankful. It could be worse. We have some people helping us, and we're thankful to them, for helping us as well. All right, until next week, thank you for your faithful support and being so generous. Thank you for praying for us. God bless you.